Hello. Welcome to Natrinka. I can't remember what episode this is, 5 or 6. I don't remember. I'll put it on the screen. But this is my sort of online journal talking about my yarn and fiber journey for 2022. In the beginning of the year, I sort of made a deal with myself that I was going to try and use up my stash instead of obsessively and very impulsively buying yarn. And so far this year, I've done a pretty good job. I'm keeping track of my stats and I left them downstairs, but when it comes time, I'll stop it and then I'll start it again so that we can get that information. I did well this month. I used far more than I purchased. But anyway, my name is Karen. I live in Maryland. I have 2 kids, one that lives in our house and one who lives in their own house. I have 1 dog named Elsa, and I have 7 cats because we are failures as foster parents. We decided to do kitten fostering for our local humane society in the summer of 2020. And we have a 50% fail rate, which means we kept half of the kittens that we fostered. So not great, but they're all very adorable, if not well behaved. So this is sort of where I talk about the things that I'm making and sort of the, things that are going on in my life and all that stuff. And hopefully I remember stuff this month to tell you. So I'm going to tell you about 3 whips and 1 finished thing. Maybe some books that I'm reading, what my yarn counts were for last month, and some future acquisitions that I'm very excited about. All right, so let's start with I'll start with my whip. So this is in a bag called Knit Fit, and I got it in I got it at a yarn festival in upstate New York near like the Lake George-ish area. And it's cool because I can hold it on my arm while I am teaching or walking. And it comes with a super awesome pair of scissors that my students think is a very cool pair of scissors. All right, so these are socks that I'm knitting for my kiddo's friend, and there, that's good. That black, I'll show you up front, the rainbow sort of flashing is just beautiful. And this is from the Lemonade Shop. It is Bad Day is the name of the color. And let's see, it is a 437 yards to 100 grams, and it's a 75-25 superwash merino and nylon. It is called the House Sock. That's the base. I do socks on different needles compared to, relative to who I'm making this for. So this is a 72 stitch sock on a 2.5 millimeter, which I think is a 1.5 US. This is where I started to increase for the heel, and this is where the heel ends, and that's how I know when I make my second sock. I just measure so that I know that the socks are the same size. What was I going to say about this sock? I did something different with the bind off. This is a toe up sock, which is based on kind of a recipe from the wendyknits.net. I think it's Wendy Johnson. If it's not, I'll put it on the screen. And I just, for reasons I have discussed previously, I do not love top down socks, cuff down. I really prefer toe up. So I did do something different with the cuff. So what I have done in the past is I've, when I get ready to do the bind off, I knit a stitch, knit the second stitch, knit those 2 stitches together on my right needle, and then I knit 2 from the right needle. So it almost creates like a little ruffle. And I like the way it looks. It's super stretchy, but it's kind of a pain in the neck and it takes a long time. And if I'm watching television, I sometimes forget if I've done if I've, knitted 1 extra stitch or 2. So it gets a little uneven. But with this sock, what I did is I cast off. So this is a 2.5 millimeter. I cast off with a 3. So all I did was use, because I'm a magic looper, so I, used my right needle was the 3, and I just knit 2 and then knit off of that needle. Does that make sense? I mean, I'm sure, I don't know if I knit through the back loop on the right needle. I'm not really sure, but that's basically what I did. So this is the cake with what I have left. And this is a little thing I got from Leading Men Fiber Arts. It's called Peat Moss Novelties. And it holds your skein, which this is kind of a hot mess. But that's okay. It's okay to have a little bit of a hot mess of a skein. But, I mean, there's still a whole bunch of yarn here. So, yeah. I really love this yarn. And I think that if the Lemonade shop comes out with this colorway again, and I'm back to buying yarn, I will buy some. I have seen so many good colors that I'm like, man, I just want to buy it all, but I'm waiting for the Maryland sheep and wool. I'm being good, and I'm gonna buy a whole lot of yarn there, so I'm gonna be good. All right, my second whip is a little pair of socks for a very sweet little one that I work with her mom, and she is a pre-K'er at my school. So she has a little brother, and I made her brother, I think maybe he's 2-ish or gonna be 2. I made him a blanket, and he loves his blanket, and he kind of drags it around with him everywhere. And his mom is kind of like, it's getting really gross because he drags it around everywhere. And she asked if I could make him sort of like a lovey. I'm thinking like maybe like a 12 by 12 square that he could carry around. And I said, of course. And I was sharing some yarn, and this little one was feeling very sad because I hadn't made her anything, and here I was going to make her brother something else. So she asked me if I would make her a pair of socks, and I said yes. But I have never knit socks for kids, like little kids, so I was not really sure how to go about doing it. So what I did, and I didn't screw it up, but a lot of things happened that I didn't expect. As you know, I don't like cuff down. So I did these toe up, and I did a tube sock. I cast on 10 using Judy's Magic Cast On, I think it's called, to cast on a 48 stitch sock. And when I got to 48 stitches, I was thinking to myself, this does not, like, I would like it to be bigger. So I went up to 56. I knit the leg for 1.5 inches, and then I feel like the cuff is also probably 1.5 inches, and it's just a regular, 2x2 rib. I dyed this yarn. So we were messing around last summer with ice dyeing with acid dyes, and I dyed this. This is super bright looking, and it's really pretty. I mean, this is the cake that's left, so there's a lot left. This is a new yarn cozy. And I am this far. I was really trying to get this finished, and I could have, but I worked on something else yesterday. But I'm almost done. I have like less than 1 inch left before I start the ribbing. So I will definitely be able to give these to her tomorrow. That is my hope and my plan. I think it is on Knit Picks Stroll. It feels like a sport weight, and I wanted to knit it on a 2.5 millimeter, but I somehow got the 2.75 millimeter, and the gauge is lovely. It's nice and squishy. I finished the first sock, I don't know, like Thursday night, I think. And I brought it into school on Friday. So, or maybe I finished it on Wednesday. I don't remember. But I had my friend try it on, and it fits. It goes over her foot and over her heel, which I was really worried about. So she's going to have like a really cute little pair of socks. And if her mom wants her to wear them as, you know, slippers or whatever, and not to school, that's fine. I mean, they're just fun, and I will have lots of yarn left over. So if I have time, I won't have time. I have a lot of things that I would like to make, so I won't have time now, but I might have time to make her a hat for next year. We'll see. And then the final whip I have is my mom's temperance shawl. So the last time I showed this to you, we were here, and there's like a really weird pucker, and I wonder if I screwed up somehow, or it could just be the differences in the patterns, you know, in the stitch patterns. But anyway, so this is, I love this thing, and I kind of wish I wasn't giving it to her, but I am, because I love my mom, and this is really much more her color. I did show you guys mine. It's much cooler with the purples and like a much cooler sagey green, and this is a way yellower color, which is way more my mom's style. And you can see, kind of covering my face here, so what is happening now is this stitch pattern, and it's a 42 row repeat that you do 4 times, and then you do the first 31 rows. And the idea is that this side, originally, there were 201 stitches on the needles, and they were roughly, you know, half were on one side of the marker, half were on the other. So now there are still 201 stitches, you know, probably. And, but what you're doing is you're decreasing on this side and increasing on this side. So eventually it will just be one huge straight line. And you can see this is where the repeats are. So I have started, I am 2 rows into the 3rd repeat. I worked on this. I worked on the sock for Sarah's friend and finished. I bound it off yesterday. I did the bind off, and then I worked on the little purple and yellow pink sock for like, I don't know, an hour maybe, and then I probably spent 10 hours. No, maybe not. Like 8 hours, probably 8 hours. I did not get off my couch other than to you know, get coffee and go to the bathroom and make myself a grilled cheese. But so I worked on this. This I really would like for it to be finished by the end of March, and I think I can, but it's kind of unwieldy to bring to school, so I'm not going to bring it to school. But if once I finish the little sock, then I can work on this at home. I can work on Jordan's sock at school, and we should have a finished pair of socks and a shawl by the end of the month. I am using Malabrigo sock. This is the lettuce colorway. This is the Botticelli red colorway. And this is the Diana colorway. And I think they're gorgeous. And you know what? I am thinking that I may make a muscle burra out of this. And also out of the scraps I have from my temperance shawl. I like it a lot. It's a lot of knitting. It's a lot of knitting. So it takes a long time. I did see the new Stephen West shawl, which I can't remember now what it's called, but it's like a worsted or DK weight shawl. And it's really pretty. I can't remember what it's called. If I can find it, I'll put it over here. But I'm thinking that I have yarn for that too. I don't want to just get stuck on shawls because I do want to knit the waffle sweater. I have yarn that I think would go really nicely for that. I have yarn for a Hilo Catelli simple raglan sweater. I have yarn for the flax, and maybe I don't know. I think I might have yarn for something else too. I have wool that I'd like to spin for a slip over, like a vest type of a thing. I want to try a love note. There is a sweater by a designer named James Watts. That is a mesh sweater that both of my children have asked for. So that looks like it takes no yarn because it's knit on like an 11 needle with fingering weight yarn. So it's like a mesh, yeah, it's like a mesh lace. So I might make that for them too. I feel like once the summertime comes, it will be my sort of time to shine. We're reading Little House in the Big Woods in school right now, and there's a part where it talks about Ma's schedule, like cleaning on this day, ironing on this day, mending on this day, baking on this day, cleaning on this day. And I'm like, oh, we should have one of those at our house. So I feel like maybe for the summer, I am going to have a day or two, we'll see, of where I literally just sit and do nothing but knit or spin for maybe like a day to knit and a day to spin. And then the other days I will be able to do stuff after I have done like chores. I think, everybody cross your fingers for me, I think I may have convinced Dan that we should get like a clean. I'm like, I'm not buying yarn. Maybe we should get a cleaning lady. I don't know, we'll see. He is like super against the idea of having someone else clean our house, and I am super for the idea of having someone else clean our house. Anyway, all right, so my one finished object is spinning, and this is from Your Fibery Godmother. It is a 4-ounce colorway. It's called Black Opal, and it's BFL. And I don't know. I bought this a while ago, and I had some goals with it. I wanted to spin it thicker because my default is maybe like a light DK, and I'm actually very excited because I participated in the Kickstarter with Dreaming Robots, who makes the nano electric eel spinning wheels, and I am getting the yarn counter tomorrow. So I want to put my hand spun through it to see if I can get an idea of more than just like a wraps per inch count, but like an overall idea of how it is. But this, and I chain plied this, and so this is my second chain ply. The first chain ply is like super ropey because I put way too much twist in it, but this, oh, look at that, so pretty. Let's see, can you, oh, it's so pretty, and it's soft, and I want to get better at trying to spin chain ply more because I really like the way it looks, and it's thick and plump and soft and squishy when you do it right. And I really, really like the way this looks. And I like the fact that it, here, I'll show you. I don't know, maybe you won't. But you can, like, there's a preservation. There's some barber pulling in it, but really it's like, it's going to be a self-striping yarn or a gradient or something like that. So I really want to, like, I have a braid from Wild Hair Fibers, I think, that is a rainbow gradient. And that is really, that is really that's what I really want to work on. Now this, when I opened it, I was like, meh, you know, it's okay. And then once I started spinning it and all the colors came out, because it was super dark, I thought, my word, this is so pretty. I really, really like this. So yeah, that is what I have spun. I have nothing on the wheel right now because school is crazy. My youngest kiddo is graduating high school, and so we're trying to make sure all that stuff is in place. They are going to go, we think, to an art school in Baltimore, which is super exciting. I have never been there. I know nothing about it, and so I kind of am like, hey, maybe we should schedule a visit to see what it's like. Like, do they have dorms? Where would you eat? I know nothing. So I think we're going to schedule a visit down there. Yeah, so I'm getting really excited for Maryland Sheep and Wool. I am excited to take a spinning class with Jillian Moreno. I am stalking Shirsty Cat's Instagram. If you don't watch her dyeing videos, they're short, you know, they're not long, like maybe a minute. I don't, you know, but it's they are so freaking cool, and the yarn that she makes is so cool. So I am so excited to go to Maryland and just get there as early as I can and stay for as long as I can and see as many exhibitions as I can see and visit as many booths as I can. And, you know, I am excited. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. Work has been, you know, what it is with 22, 6, and 7-year-olds. You know, I have to say that I adore them completely. But also, I am very, very tired when I come home. I really, you know, there are worse things in this world than working with first graders. They are very funny and insightful and loving and kind and caring. You know, they're just great. First graders are great. They're irreverent. They're sassy. They laugh at silly jokes. I love them. So, I can't even remember. I think we're at 57 days. We have 57 days of school left. And, I am taking my summer this year and I am relaxing. What else? Let's see. So what have I watched the new Outlander this morning. How many of you are Outlander fans? It's really this season. I know it's very short. I think it's only 6 or 7 episodes. The episodes are a tiny bit longer. They're like an hour and 15 minutes maybe. And I like it. And I feel like they captured a lot of the feelings when I read the book. So, you know, the Christies are there. So if you are a fan of the books, Henri Christian has been born. So there's some very cool, good plot pieces. It's it's so good this year. I'm really excited about it. So I'm watching that. I watched this thing on Netflix called Worst Roommate Ever, which was like super disturbing. I have one episode left. Because I binged that last night when I was trying to wait up for Outlander and it didn't work. And then like the podcasts that I watch that are knitting podcasts, I watch a Lefty Knitter, which I really like. She is also from Maryland. And so it's kind of cool because when she talks about stuff, sometimes I am not from Maryland. So like there's a lot of sort of tradition stuff that I don't really connect or know about. So it's cool to hear somebody who, when I'm like, oh yeah, I've heard about that. I like the Knit Girll's. I like Stranded. I watch 72 Stitches, which I think is called Knit All the Yarn. Not Enough Yarn. I don't know. There are lots of them that I like. And lately I've been watching this podcast on YouTube called Man's Best Friend. And it's this guy in Serbia who owns a dog grooming business. And he and his girlfriend, along with a friend of theirs, finds these dogs that are sort of abandoned on the side of the road. And he cleans them up. And then they take them to the vet. And then they find them homes. And these dogs are in rough shape. But the coolest thing is that once they all just like, once they groom them and give them a bath and they give them treats and food and water, and these dogs are like rolling over on their bellies and giving kisses and their tails are wagging and they are just really sweet. So it's kind of cool. It's like a feel-good type of thing. So I am reading, I just finished a book called The Once and Future Witches. And if you are a reader, I heard about this. So 2 places. We live very close to Shepherdstown, West Virginia, and there's a bookstore there, and I don't remember the name of it, but I will see if I can find it, and I will link it and maybe put the name on the screen. But I went in there and I saw the book. Now, I am not a reader at this moment in my life. I am a listener because I can knit and listen or spin and listen or drive and listen, you know, all those things. But The Once and Future Witches was so good. I wish I could unread it and then read it again. That's how good it was. I am also reading The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. Oh, I don't remember who that's by either, but that's by the same person who wrote Daisy Jones and the Six. I was not a huge fan of Daisy Jones and the Six, but this one I really like. And the new book in the Tales of Verania from TJ Klune is coming out. That is a male romance, and it is not kid-friendly, just in case you were wondering. But it is freaking hysterical, and I love it so much. So that's really exciting. What else? What else have I been reading or thinking about? I don't know. I have a bunch of books in my Audible library that I haven't read. I have some on my wish list. I am listening currently to You're Wrong About, and I am listening to their sort of deep dive into the O.J. Simpson trial. Very interesting. I remember I was in college when that was happening, and I had some feelings about it. You know, I thought that it was, you know, I thought that the defense did a good job of planting reasonable doubt insofar as the behavior of the police officers. I think that I'm interested to see. So the next episode that I'm going to watch is called When Marcia Met Cato. So that'll be interesting. It's an interesting case. And before that, I listened to, it was a 4-part series on the DC snipers. Also very interesting. Very, very interesting. I really like that show because I feel like it cuts through the nonsense or the BS or the media hypiness of everything. And it's sort of, you know, all the pieces are there. But I think when something is a sensationalized story, it's very, very easy to get caught up in the sort of sparkliness of it. And I think that You're Wrong About does a really good job of cutting through all of that, and also, you know, propaganda is a thing, and when people with a tremendous amount of money and power want to put across a narrative, that's going to be the loudest narrative. And I feel like what they do is they quiet that narrative a little bit and bring up the narrative of the other players in whatever situation it is that they're dealing with. So I think that's really interesting. And I take turns between the Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo and You're Wrong About. I bounce back and forth between those. Yeah, I'm trying to think if there's anything else I wanted to talk about. No, if you're in my area, Barbara Ingram School has their senior exhibition at Hagerstown Community College next weekend, I think, and my kiddo has several pieces in. I'm very proud of them. They worked really hard, and you know, I am not an artist in an oil paint or 3D or drawing or photography kind of a way. I can take string and make it into beautiful things, but I am in awe of people who can create something and make you feel a type of way about it. So I'm super proud. I am super, super proud of this kid. And it's been a long ass road to get to where we are. And, you know, I am so proud. And I don't know. I really am. I am. And I am a mom who has 2 kids who are amazing. And I think it's so weird because I remember when Dan and I decided to have kids, that I was always joking like, oh, my goal is to keep them out of the therapy office, ha ha ha. And you know, now my goal is to help them find therapists who are gonna help them, because what I feel like I've learned as an adult is that everybody needs somebody to talk to, and as a grown-up helping kids, your job is either to be that person to listen, or if you are not, have no experience with what they're talking about, or you are not qualified to give your opinion or your advice, then your job is to help them find somebody who is. So I've changed my goal as a parent a little bit. And yeah, I'm really proud of my kids. They are good humans, and they are people that I am proud to know and proud to get to hang out with. So yeah, it's the middle of March. And oh yeah, we also had a snowstorm yesterday. That was super fun. And it's super freaking windy and cold, but it'll be back up to 70 by the end of this week. I keep looking for my phone to check the weather, but I'm talking to it. Yeah, anyway, so have a lovely 2 weeks. In the next 2 weeks, I would like to be finished with Jordan's sock. I don't think you're going to see the little pink and purple socks again. I'll take a picture when they're done so that I can show you. But I would like to finish Jordan's sock. I would like to finish my mom's shawl. I would like to cast on a musselburgh for my friend. and I would like to have made some significant progress on my night shift shawl. Yeah. All right, friends. I hope you have a wonderful 2 weeks, and it will be spring. Yay, when I see you next. So have a good 2 weeks, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.